What's up, everybody? It is SC Romero of the Fantasy Football Universe here to bring my final conference preview. Now, this conference is five bundled up into one. Why? Because we're talking about the group of five, right? We have the American Conference, the Conference USA, the MAC, the Mountain West, as well as the Sun Belt Conference. And we're talking about these guys because, of course, you don't scout the helmet, you scout the player, right? And there's a lot of talent in the group of five this year as well. So I want to highlight my top 10 offensive, top five IDP guys, and go from there. So again, a conference preview, the group of five coming up right after the intro. What's up, everybody? Again, it's SC Romero. Follow me on X at the PPR. So here for the Fantasy Football Universe to talk about the group of five, top 10 offensive players and top five IDP guys for you. Some prospects you need to keep an eye on. So let's just get right into it and talk about the number one that I think a lot of people already know about. I've done a Devy Dash on him. You've probably seen the highlights of him, and that's Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. Now, Ashton Jeanty is a very versatile back. He knows how to catch the ball at the backfield. He has great contact balance. He has the speed. He has the elusiveness. He has a lot of what it takes to get to that next level. And honestly, I think if there's any chance for these guys to get into a day two pick, I don't think anyone's day one here. Maybe we'll see, but I don't think anyone's necessarily day one. But a day two pick, Ashton Jeanty definitely leads that board when it comes to the group of five prospects. Now, out of Boise State, he's a 1,000-yard rusher. He knows what he needs to do. Again, that elusiveness is key, and the contact balance, man. This kid does not go down. He keeps his feet moving forward, and he has that second gear to continue to break out that secondary and just score. If anything, I'm excited to see what happens in the NFL when it comes to the kick return this year, right? Because they're adjusting the kick returns this year. So it's going to open the door for a lot more athletes who have some relevancy in special teams as well. So that's why I'm excited to see what they can do. Why? Because a running back like Ashton Jeanty that might not get the running back work to start could get his opportunities in the special teams. And I think that will help because they'll be able to be like, wow, look at what elusive this kid is. And he might make a name for himself in that sense as well. The second guy, though, is another guy that I think could slip into day two. These top three are really people I think could slip into day two. The second guy is someone that he's just rising my boards, man. And that's going to be Colorado State wide receiver Tory Horton. 1,000-yard receiver. He gets his quarterback back. He went back recently. Him and his quarterback, kind of both said, look, we're not here for the NIL. We're here to play a game we love, and the way the coaches have developed us here at Colorado State makes us want to stay. And you'd love to hear that kind of loyalty. And he really is a great wide receiver. He's a yak monster. He gets the ball in his hands, and he knows how to get the extra yards. He's someone that can move the chains for you, whether it be 3rd and 10 or whether it be first down, right? Or, fourth down, whatever it may be. He is relevant enough to be a reliable pass catcher for a quarterback at the next level. He has great size as well. Tory Horton has that speed to hit at that next level and continue to grow into a good receiver down the line. Now, does he become a day two pick? I don't know. But either way, he's definitely going to be one of my highest wide receivers next year. I mean, Combine could, I guess, slip that a little bit if he just underperforms drastically, right? But either way, on tape, on film, I love what I see from Tory Horton at Colorado State. He is a reason why Colorado State's on watch for me, simply because he is that great. And honestly, right now, he's my wide receiver 5 of the 2025 class. Now, this next guy is someone that may not get enough love. Again, don't scout the helmet, scout the player. And that's going to be Utah State wide receiver Jalen Royals. Now, this kid has reliable hands. He knows how to read the defenses and find the soft spots in those to be the target for the quarterback. Great awareness and knowing where the out of bounds is. He knows how to check his feet to say, okay, I got to tiptoe here and do what I need to do to get to that level as well. and great catch radius. Whether it's him extending his hands or adjusting his hips to make the play, he is making it happen, and that's something that translates well. He could definitely be he could be a wide receiver too in the league, like for a team, not necessarily fantasy wise, but for a team, a wide receiver too. But he might be the wide receiver three. Get him in that slot work and let him do his work. Let him do his thing, and I'm really excited to see what he could do because I think he's going to be the sneaky riser, right? Where I think a lot more people will be on Colorado State's Tory Horton, where Utah State wide receiver Jalen Royals could be the guy that ends up going in that second round. You see it every year, right? Where someone just goes to the second round and people are like, oh, who's he? Who's he? It could be Jalen Royals, and then he could go out there and impress as well. He's going to be a top prospect as well when it comes to it. He has speed. Again, he knows what he needs to do on all cylinders, reading the defenses, adjusting his body to get the right catch and even get some yards after the catch as well. I like what I see in Jalen Royals, and I'm excited to see what he continues to do to progress and get to that NFL level because I think he will. I think he's an NFL talented wide receiver, and I think he can make an impact on a team, whatever he is, either a wide receiver two or in that slot role as well. Now, this next one, you probably heard about him too, because it's going to be a quarterback out of Liberty, and that's Kaiden Salter. Now, you talk about dual threat quarterbacks, you're talking about him. I mean, very talented, knows how to extend the plays with his feet. But he had like 31 touchdowns last season, plus 12 on the ground, right? With only 5 interceptions last season and 9 sacks. That tells me, and it shows me on the tape, he knows how to get out the pocket. He has that awareness of when the pressure's coming in and when he needs to escape to extend the play and find his wide receivers. And the 31 touchdowns tells me he's connecting with his wide receivers in general, right? So you love to see that. This is the dark horse quarterback because I don't think he's necessarily a day 2 pick. Definitely, you never know. A team could take a shot, but a day 3 pick here. But because of his dual threat capability, he's in a sense what people want Malik Willis to be. What people thought of Malik Willis, and we saw him go right in a second. What people thought of Malik Willis, Kaiden Salter is actually that, and Kaiden Salter can actually deliver, in my opinion. He's not as raw as what Malik Willis was entering the draft. So I'm excited to see what Kaiden Salter out of Liberty does this year. I think he's gonna again just go wild, help Liberty just have a great season once again. And when it comes to draft time, when he's starting to show that arm, man, they're gonna see this kid has a nice arm. He has a pretty good cannon, as well as the speed and the versatility and being a dual threat quarterback. That can definitely raise some eyebrows for some teams to be like, okay, maybe we need to take a shot on this. Will he be a starter in the NFL? Probably not out the gate, but I think he's someone that if he goes in and he's back up to a specific quarterback, he can take that role to the next level. For example, let's just say Arizona takes a shot on him, and now he's a backup to Kyler Murray, and then Kyler Murray gets banged up. Kaiden Salter could go in and fill that same role in what Kyler Murray does, and maybe do it better. Kyler Murray was a top prospect too, but Kaiden Salter is nice. Don't sleep on him. Liberty quarterback. Next one, another quarterback here. The group of 5 has a lot of quarterbacks here that I like, really. And this one's going to be USF quarterback, University of South Florida quarterback, Byre Brown. Now, jumped onto the scene last year, having over 3,800 yards passing, 3,800 yards total, 3,000 yards passing with another 800 rushing. So you love to see that there. Has a good arm. The thing with him that really he needs to work on to improve. Like, I like the talent, but he does try to force plays, and that causes for turnovers. He's had 11 interceptions last season, right? If he can narrow that down, especially with he's gave 400 passing attempts and 180 rushing attempts and things like that, if he could take away some of those turnovers, some of those costly mistakes, he could be on watch for a top prospect here as well. That's more of that rawness, that I think, that you see in it, where it's like he has the abilities, the physical abilities, right, to make the plays, but the mental state, like the mind, making those costly mistakes isn't quite there. So that's where it's like, I need to see more. Don't make those mistakes. Continue to develop your arm, continue to use your feet to extend plays and get yards. And then I think he could be one of your good prospects that you're looking at in that day 3 as well. He's someone that has talent, but it's definitely more of the IQ of the game, just learning the game a little bit more, just getting down to the fundamentals. And again, doing less turnovers. That's a big part. But either way, I do love watching him play, and I think he's gonna have a great season yet again. And this is gonna be someone that could potentially rise your quarterback draft boards as well. Now, this next one, UNLV wide receiver Ricky White. Now, reason why I didn't have him higher, like this kid's nice. He had a breakout season last year, had 17.1 yards per catch last season. His quarterback, Jalen Mastermind is now at USC. So he's going to have to develop a rapport with another quarterback. Could it be transfer quarterback Matthew Sluka? Maybe. That's a good freshman coming in. But it's something to watch, because if he comes out and balls again, which I mean gets over 1,000 yards yet again, and has some good touchdowns as well, and it shows his abilities as well, that he could definitely rise. And if that happens, I'm putting him above Byre Brown at least. Kaiden Salter, I don't know. Maybe I really like Kaiden Salter as well. But Ricky White has a talent. He has the length. He has the catch radius. He has the strength to bring down balls and win the contested catch as well. So you love to see that. He's going to be a reliable target. He's going to be the wide receiver 1 of UNLV. So I'm excited to watch what he does. Another guy that could slip into your day 2. But the worry is the new quarterback. How does that happen? Because it took him this about 3 years to get into where he's at right now and having that breakout season last year. So now it's like, okay, can you do it again? Basically starting over, right, with the new quarterback and building up that chemistry with that quarterback. So we'll see. Time will tell. I do like him as a talent, but coaches, NFL coaches, they scout what the athletes are doing on the field statistically. They're not necessarily looking all the time at this talent. It's more day 3. Like I feel they taste the stats in day 1 and day 2 more. So when it comes to him, if those stats aren't there, he's gonna slide down. Yeah, he's still gonna be a top prospect based on what I've seen for me in the wide receivers. But because of that, and going day 3, he may slide down a little bit for me on the boards there. This other one, shout out CFB Nation for the Devy Darling scoop on this guy, but Western Michigan running back Jalen Buckley. Now, elusive speed, great contact balance, showed his skill as a redshirt freshman, busting open for 1,000 yards. Great size too, 5'11", 210, so that sweet spot for it comes to the running backs and the vision, man. This kid has one, great balance, okay, to see it. Excuse me, had to cough there a little bit. Great balance and hits the holes quickly. He sees the holes as they expand, and then he's there. He's gone. So you love to see that there as well. He knows how to make your defenders miss. And again, that size is great. He's that sweet spot for a size of a running back there. I like what I see in him at Western Michigan. Will he transfer next year? Maybe, if he could get up to one of your Power 4 schools, awesome. But if not, he's still someone to see. Again, don't scout the helmet, scout the player. And I think this is going to be a top running back in the group of 5. Ashton Jeanty's unfortunately there. But other than that, Buckley's my number 2 in the group of 5 right now. I love what I see in his game, and I think he could be he's going to be great for Western Michigan again, and he's going to be great in your college football fantasy leagues as well. At that next level, will he get a shot? I hope so, because he has it. But again, that's where that special teams comes in. He can make a name for himself in the special teams and then develop and continue to grow at that pro level and then get there and be one of your prime backs, or maybe a change of pace back, because he has that speed and pass catching to be able to do that as well. Speaking of running backs, we're going to Tulane's running back, and that's going to be Makhi Hughes, another running back that just showed his talent on the ground, has some great vision when it comes to finding those holes quickly, and can get small into the gaps, right? He sees the holes, and after closing in, he could still get small and squeeze in there and get the plays. Smooth footwork to weave through the traffic and get through, and then he has that speed to take him to the secondary. So getting through the contact in those first couple yards, and then he has the speed to break out in the secondary and get the long runs as well, which you'd love to see. Keeps his feet moving forward, understands where he needs to be. If it's picking up the blitz as well, he can do that. So you love to see all of that there for him. Tulane's a sleeper for me to be great this year. I like a lot of talent that they have, but it starts with Makhi Hughes on the offensive side of the ball, because if he's going, the offense is going and the defense is rolling as well. So I'm excited to see what he can do. If you have him in C2C leagues or your CFF leagues or don't, I recommend going after to get him, because he's going to be great for you this season at the next level. We'll see, what he can do, but I definitely love him right now, just in the college football landscape. This next guy is a wide receiver that I've started to adore more and more, and that's going to be Hawaii's wide receiver, Pofele Ashlock. Now, he has his chance to take over as the true wide receiver would here with Stephen McBride, wide receiver, dealing with some off the field issues right now. Last year, 83 receptions was a team high, so I guess you could say he's ready the wide receiver one. All 128 targets for 832 yards and 9 touchdowns. He did that 2 fumbles, so you want to see more ball security from him. But the thing is, he's loyal to Hawaii as well. You know, I mentioned this before in one of my previous shows with him. He tore his ACL his senior season, and Hawaii said, "We still want you, man. We still want you to come here." So now he's with them. He's dedicated to them. Knows how to make the cuts officially. Has great hands, great ball tracking skills, and Hawaii's looking to be like an air raid offense. So Pofele Ashlock could be the top guy and a guy that has the official breakout season. What I mean by that is gain over 1,000 yards. I think that can happen for him this year. It's going to be great, especially with Braden Schager as the Hawaii quarterback, a veteran quarterback there. I'm excited to see what this offense does in Hawaii because it starts with these guys, you know, and Pofele Ashlock is going to be someone you don't want to sleep on because I think he has the traits to be a wide receiver prospect in the NFL. Not necessarily, I'm not saying high, you know, one or two, but he does have the traits to make it and make some big plays to be that boomer bust guy at the NFL level. But as far as college, you know, he's you go get him, man, because he's probably on your waivers, to be honest, because he's at Hawaii. So I would go grab him, go see what you can do, or he's a buy low as well potentially. So go out there and see what you can get for him as well. My last guy here, quarterback Seth Henigan. Now, reason why I like him, man, Memphis, one, he's getting his top 2 receivers back. He's getting Rock Taylor back, and he's getting Demir Blankomancy. I probably said that last name wrong, so I apologize. But his senior, you know, he's not gonna digress. You know, he's consistently gained over 3,000 yards. He's consistently passing for right at the 60% mark, so he's hitting his targets. Was close to gain 30 touchdowns last season. I think he could do that this year because they lost their running back. I mean, they do have Mario Anderson there now, so that's pretty nice. But I think he's someone that is a dark horse to be some relevant at the next level as well. You know, he's a day 3 pick, honestly, but he could be a nice backup and a nice filler role, right? You need those backups that can get it. If your guy gets banged up, maybe it's a couple drives. I think Seth Henigan has the in between the ears, right? The mindset of what he needs to accomplish to get it done at the NFL level. And will he do it? Not to start, but I definitely think he's someone that can benefit as far as just being a leader in the locker room, right? I think that's a reason why Memphis has success because he's been there. He's a veteran quarterback now, and he's going into his final year of eligibility. So he's going to go out there and do some great things again. And hopefully this year they get over 4,000 yards. He's been close, right? This past year, just over 3,800 yards. So we're going to see what he can do. I'm excited to see what he does with Memphis, especially with, you know, Blake Watson living. Will Mario Anderson live up to that hype and be what Blake Watson was, or will be the Seth Henigan show? And it's just the air raid with Rock and with the beer there as well. He doesn't turn the ball over either. He's never had a season with over 10 interceptions. His most has been 9, and then he had 8 and 8. So he does turn over, don't get me wrong, but it's still, he understands. He throws with some darts and throws with some good precision. So he's a quarterback to watch at that next level. Now, as always, we always go into some offensive honorable mentions, and we're going to speak about Hawaii Braden Schager. You know, I did have Boise State's quarterback Malachi Nelson, but recently they said he is not the starting quarterback at Boise State, so Malachi is definitely slipping. Am I still buying? I don't know, man. If you move down from a power 4 to a group of 5, you still get that, and you were the top prospect coming into the freshman class, that's worrisome there. So TBD on Malachi Nelson. Colorado State quarterback Braden Fowler Nicolosi. Wyoming running back, man, Harrison Whaley. He was a prospect I really enjoy, but he's banged up and he got hurt again. So TBD on him as well. Memphis running back Mario Anderson. I'm excited to see what he steps into and see if he can take over the Blake Rawson role, just being a dual threat type of running back for them. Arkansas State quarterback Jalen Raynor, great quarterback. I think he's going to do great things for Arkansas State. Texas State running back Ismail Mahdi, another great running back that's getting underlooked as well at Texas State. And then Ohio running back Ricky Hunt as well. I think those are 2 great running backs that are being overlooked that have some potential to be some booms this year for your CFF teams. Now, Those are my offensive players. Let's get to the defensive side of the ball. As you know, defenses win championships. First, we're talking about Old Dominion linebacker Jason Henderson. Now, this guy's an absolute monster. He has back-to-back seasons with 165 plus tackles. And last season started to show more physicality at the line. Ended up with 4.5 sacks. He is the impact player for Old Dominion. He is the guy that can change the tide when it comes to games with Old Dominion. He can single-handedly destroy an offense. And once he does that, it's Old Dominion's offensive side of the ball to make it happen and get down the field. But I absolutely love Jason Henderson, excuse me. And he could be a day 2 pick as well. I think he could slip into possibly round 2. This next class is very heavy defensively, possibly round 2, but I think he could possibly be a day 3 or day 2, round 3, excuse me, kind of pick here. But I'm excited to see what he does, especially if he shows more physicality at the line and attacks with more pressure at the line to get a few more sacks. That'll raise his draft stock as well as continuing to get 160 plus tackles, 165 plus tackles as well. So we'll see what he does this year. But Old Dominion, man, I love Old Dominion. They have some great talent there, and Jason Henderson is one of those top guys there. Now, off the edge, speaking of guys that bring the pressure, Ahmed Hassanein out at Boise State, edge rusher. This guy looks great, man. He started off his career slow, but last year was a breakout. 12.5 sacks last season after having just 2 in the previous 2 seasons, right? So he finally understanding, getting comfortable with that college landscape and making it happen. He's going to lead Boise State in sacks again. At least that's what it's looking like. But 6'3", 272 edge rusher, he's a problem for any offense because of his versatility, because of his speed, because of his maneuvers to get around the blockers to make the plays. I'm excited to see what he can do this year, especially after such a great season last year. How is he going to build on that? Is he going to do better? Is he going to replicate it, or is he going to evolve even into a better pass rusher after seeing that he can do it, right? So excited to see what he can do. He's going to be the pulse for Boise State on the defensive side of the ball. If he can get going, it's going to make the secondary, your defensive backs at Boise State, a little bit easier when it comes to doing their job. So excited to see what he can do at Boise State, Ahmed Hassanein. Now, speaking of the defensive linemen, Miami, Ohio has someone there too, as Brian Ugwu. Pulse, man. This guy, he seems like he's just the energy of the entire defense, honestly, when you watch on tape. Former teammate Kaiden Woodard, transferred out. So he's out of Oklahoma this year. So this will be interesting because it's going to be Ogwu's, time to take over, right? He's going to be the leader on that defensive front, and this is going to be something to see what he can do as continuing to improve his techniques. With Woodard gone, this could be the season he gets over 10 sacks. He has 13 in 2 seasons already. So now it's him causing that pressure to do it and what he's going to do to continue to build on that. I'm excited to see what Brian Ugwu does, because sometimes you need that guy to transfer out or go pro to say, all right, now it's my time to shine. And I think that's what Brian Ugwu is going to do for Miami, Ohio. Just, again, be the heartbeat for the defense, take over control of that defensive line, and attack the quarterbacks and the running backs behind the line of scrimmage to make those plays happen. So we'll see what he does. Brian Ugwu, Miami, Ohio defensive lineman. Now, UNLV has a linebacker that transferred in Jackson Woodard. Now, he couldn't get it going at Arkansas, so last season he transferred to UNLV and broke out. 113 total tackles, made movement on both sides of the ball. UNLV did, and Woodard was part of that on the defensive side. Could be a major factor for the defensive unit this season. He will look to continue his breakout campaign and gain some eyes on him when it comes to being in the 2025 draft class, right? He'll be the leader there, and even at the G5 level, that's what you want to see, right? If a guy's not getting that time in the Power 4, move down to a G5, man, and go do it. Go continue to do it. As long as you produce, it doesn't matter where you're at. Yeah, you talk about competition level. I know you have SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, different competitions. But yeah, if you still come out and dominate, it's good. If you go out to a G5 and you're not doing anything better, that's worrisome. But he's coming back saying, okay, you do have the skill sets. You had to refine it a little bit, get some playing time, not sit behind, right? Get some playing time here, and now you get it going. So Jackson Woodard at UNLV is going to look to continue his reign as a linebacker, be the leader on defense, and help UNLV run success. Him and Ricky White will be the opposites, right? You have Ricky White on the offensive side being the leader, and now you have Jackson Woodard on the defensive side being the leader there as well. Now, I talked about Tory Horton. Reason why Tory Horton's so good is probably because he's practicing up against this guy, Colorado State's defensive back, Jack Howell. Now, back-to-back seasons leading the team in tackles, plays with physicality for the Rams, Colorado State Rams. He gets in his receiver's face. He plays tough. He's not afraid to be physical with them. He's smart. 3 interceptions, so it's he wants to get back to that. He had that 2 years ago. So it's looking like he wants to continue to be the leader there and just play with a physical attitude, if you will, because of what he has to do. Jack Howell, man, I think he could be one of your top 15 defensive backs when it's all said and done coming into his draft class. He's definitely going to be the iron sharpens iron, right, for Tory Horton. Jack Howell and Tory Horton are lining up against each other on practice squads, and it translates over to the field because they're getting each other better. They're teaching each other what they need to do on and off the field to get better year in and year out. So I'm excited to see what he can do for yet another season, because he, again, is a reason why Colorado State's find success against some teams that have top receivers, because he's locking them down. He's getting physical at the line. He's covering them well. He's jumping on the plays to make sure he's getting hands on the ball, getting you some pass deflections or some interceptions, so he's doing it all. If not, he has the speed and the ball pursuit to get after the ball and then go get the tackles as well. You see it with him leading the team in tackles back-to-back years, as I said earlier. Now, as always, we're going to do some honorable mentions with the defensive room as well. And, first we're going to talk about Texas State edge rusher Tumsi Adeleye. I probably said that incorrectly, but just an all-around great guy, all around, again, has nice moves to swim around defenders, has some good speed to get in the backfield there as well. We have North Texas defensive tackle Byre Brown, just a big anchor in the middle for North Texas. I love North Texas too, man. I like a lot of their talent that they have. But this is a guy that, also looks great. James Madison, linebacker Jacob Dobbs looks good. East Carolina linebacker Ra Dillingworth looks good. And then you also have UTSA quarterback Denver Harris. I think that's someone that's going to be nice to go. Central Michigan cornerback Dante Kent. And then you have Utah State with a pair of cornerbacks in Avante Dickerson and Devon Graham II. So a lot of talent there when it comes to the IDP side of the ball as well. In general, the whole purpose of doing a group of 5 conference preview for you all is to make sure y'all do not scout the helmet, you scout the players. These top 10 that I said, these bottom top 5 that I said, as well as these honorable mentions, are guys that I like, and I think you should go watch the tape on them because you may like them well. And these are guys that are sleepers, right? Because they're the late round draft picks when it comes to your rookie drafts. These are guys that you can be on top of because you saw it, that people are sleeping on because they're not in the Power 4 conference. They're not in your big conferences. They're in the group of 5, but they shouldn't be overlooked. And that's all we have for you today. Again, I'm SC Romero. Follow me on X at the PPR. So to get all my Devy insight, we got threads coming out for the college football season, IDP insight as well. But don't forget, if you like these videos as well as this fantasy football content, like, subscribe to the Fantasy Football Universe YouTube channel. Follow the Fantasy Football Universe on X at the FF Universe. Until next time, I am SC Romero, the Devy Mastermind of the Fantasy Football Universe. Peace.